Wow, I asked the question, what's the most important wine-related question you have? And I got absolutely inundated with a boatload of great questions. Stay tuned. In this video, we'll be looking at the top questions that are swirling around out there. Are you ready? Come on, let's go. Hey there, Posse, I'm Pierre, and welcome to Asti Wine Consultants. In this episode, we'll look at not only the top questions you ask, but also some interrelated questions. Let's dive in. First up was, why do people swirl wine in their glass? Because it makes them look sophisticated. But also, the real reason, or the real answer is, it helps release the aromas. So we can pretend we smell hints of wet gravel and leather-bound books instead of just grape juice. This leads us to, how do I properly taste wine? What I'm about to say is known as the 5 S's. The 5 S's of wine tasting. First of all is you swirl. You know, like you're about to make toast of your own greatness. Then you sniff like you're detecting some secrets or something in the wine. Next up is you sip. Sip like you're judging your own reality TV show. Then you swallow or spit. You know, if you're professional, then you spit. You can use a spit bucket. Then what you do is you savor. Nod wisely as if you know exactly what hints of forest floor actually means. Now the next question is, does wine expire? If it's unopened, most wines last years, sometimes decades. You know, if it's opened, it often turns into vinegar faster than you can say, I'll finish it tomorrow. Now truthfully, it depends on what type of wine you're talking about and how you're storing it. Red wine is like a good friend. It sticks around for 3 to 5 days if you treat it right. You cork it and refrigerate. While white wine is a little bit more high maintenance, 2 to 3 days tops. Sparkling wine, if you don't have a proper stopper, you've got about 3 hours before it turns into sad juice. This frequently leads to what is the best way to store unopened wine. Think of wine like a vampire. Keep it away from sunlight. Lay it down in a cool, dark place and don't disturb it too much. Otherwise, it might wake up cranky. This is also known as oxidized and lifeless. How are you doing there? Am I answering some of your questions? If I am, write Asti in the comments below. Now here come several interrelated questions. They begin with, can I cook with cheap wine? The answer is yes, but remember, bad wine makes bad food. If you wouldn't drink it, don't force your spaghetti sauce to suffer through it also. Which leads us to, does price really determine wine quality? Now, not always. Some expensive wines are like designer handbags, gorgeous, but you're mostly paying for the brand. Now, meanwhile, some $15 bottles are like thrift shop finds, hidden gems with way more personality. Which leads us to, how do you choose a good wine on a budget? Ignore fancy labels and stick to regions that offer great values. You know, Spain, Portugal, and the Languedoc in southern France. That's the Languedoc. It will say Languedoc on the bottle. When wine comes from these areas, they taste expensive, but won't require selling your kidney. Oh, also, here's a bonus tip. If the bottle has a cute animal or a body part on it, proceed with caution. Now, as we talk about cooking with wine, this leads us to the next question. What food pairs best with different types of wine? Wine pairing is like dating. And by the way, I'm a whole lot better at wine than dating. Some matches are magical, some are disasters. Red wine loves steak and darker, richer sauces. White wine is besties with lighter sauces and seafood. And sparkling wine, it's a social butterfly. It goes virtually with everything, including fried chicken. Now on the labels, what do terms like reserve or old vine mean? Now reserve might mean aged longer and fancier, or because there's no governmental restrictions, it could just mean the winery thought it sounded really impressive. Old vines suggest the grapes are from ancient wise vines, but there's no legal definition, so take it for whatever it's worth. Now, next I have several sort of like what's the difference between questions. What's the difference between champagne and sparkling wine? Now, all champagne is sparkling wine, but not all sparkling wine is champagne. This is like, or just like all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. Now, champagne is from the actual place, Champagne, France. Everything else is just a bubbly from anywhere around the world, just trying to impress you. Now, what's the difference between red, white, and rosé wine? Red wine is like a leather jacket, bold, structured, and full of tannins. White wine is your crisp linen shirt, and it's a little fresh, zippy, and light. Rosé, that's your fun-loving bestie who always shows up looking effortlessly cool. Also, what's the difference between dry and sweet wine? Dry wine is like your brutally honest friend. No sugarcoating. Sweet wine is that one person who always brings dessert to the party. The drier the wine, the less residual sugar it has. Here are a couple of more popular questions. Should I let my wine breathe? If it is a big red wine, yes. Let it chill out for a bit, like a toddler after a sugar rush. Beyond fuller body wines, breathing really doesn't make that much of a difference. So what's the correct serving temperature for different wines? Red should be cool but not chilly, about 60 to 65 degrees. White wine should be crisp but not icy, about 45 to 50 degrees. If you're drinking your wine at room temperature in the middle of the summer, then I hope you like hot grape juice. What's the best way to hold a glass of wine? By the stem. Holding it by the bowl warms the wine, and unless you're planning on microwaving your Chardonnay, it's not ideal. Why do some wines give me a headache? It's either the sulfites, which is really rare, the histamine, which is more likely, or most likely, the fact is that you drank half a bottle of wine on an empty stomach. Hydrate some and eat some food, and maybe slow down a little bit, champ. What does tannin mean in wine? Tannins are like sandpaper for your mouth, in a good way. They come from the grape skins, seeds, and stems, and also the barrels. And they're what makes the wine feel grippy. Think of it as wine's way of giving your tongue a little workout. Well, there you have it. For our last question, we have, how do I not sound clueless when ordering wine at a restaurant? Confidence. That's the key. Swirl the glass, nod thoughtfully, say something vague like, yes, very structured. Worst case, just point to the wine list and say, I'll have that one. Folks, I trust these Q&As were somewhat helpful. If they were, let me know in the comments below. Hey there, Posse. Thanks so much for investing the time to watch this video. I trust it was helpful to you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And please consider hitting subscribe. Also, be sure to check out some of these other videos. Until next time, cheers.